In today's video, we're going to go over 5 really cool and useful tips that you probably didn't know you could do in Ableton. Let's check it out. What's up, guys? My name's Noah. I make music as Haterade, and you are watching The Productive Producer. So, the main idea behind this entire channel is being more efficient and doing things faster so you can make more music, because the more music you make, the better musician you'll become. Before we get started on today's video, I want to share with you my free finishing music checklist. You can find that in the description below. It's absolutely free, and it's a custom checklist made by me of all the points that I will use to finish my own music. And I want to share that with you guys to hopefully help you get out of that loop phase and into the finished music phase. So go check that out in the description. All right, let's get into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is cutting and pasting time. Now, what do I mean by that? In Ableton, you can see here, I got this little project here, right here. If I wanted to place this section over here, it would be hard to do that, because if I did that, it would just paste everything on top, and it would completely defeat the purpose, right? I want to put this section in between here and here. But if I do it this way, it just pastes right over the top, and then we get all this extra stuff in there that we don't want. So what I can do instead is I can highlight that and copy it just like I would normally do it with Command C. And instead of just pressing Command V, I'm going to press Shift Command V, and watch what that does. So instead of pasting it on top, right there, it's going to push everything over, and that's going to insert it right into the timeline. So I won't have to worry about having to grab everything and drag it over. This is much faster and a much more efficient way to do this. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is something that is very subtle, something that you may already know, but you may not. If you don't know this, it's going to be super, super helpful. All right, you're using, maybe you're swapping projects back and forth with another producer, and he doesn't have the plugins that you have. Well, sometimes when you load up a new project in Ableton, things get weird and it just messes up. So it's easier to print something to audio, but maybe if you don't want to commit all the way, you still want to have that MIDI and the whole plugin chain. Well, you could do it this way. You can freeze the track, just like I did here with this track, and you could just click the MIDI that you want to copy, and then just click it, Option, drag, and that will transfer that audio to a new audio track right below. So it'll be just like freezing and flattening it, but you still get to keep the MIDI and your plugin chain later on. So when you send this project to another producer, he can just turn this channel off and keep this channel on, so it works out. Number 3 is a really simple one, really straightforward, and it's something that I'm surprised to see that not many people know. It's just a really simple Option click on collapsing this group here. If I just click it once, I can collapse that group, and I can do that, and I can spend all this time collapsing everything. But if I have, let's say I have them all open just like that, I can hold Option and collapse everything in the entire project. And vice versa, I can also open everything in the entire project, just like that. So it collapse and open, it works the same, just Option click on the collapse button there. Here's a great one for if you like to use reference tracks. So a lot of people will have a master chain here. I just have a soft clipper on here, just a little saturator going on. But maybe you have a master chain on and you're trying to compare your track to a already mastered track. Well, if you run that mastered track already through your master chain, it's really not gonna, you're not gonna really get a fair comparison. It's either gonna sound way too over processed, and you're just not gonna get a good result. Well, what you can do is on the reference track right here, you can set, instead of having the output to master, you could just switch it to external out. And what that will do is it will bypass all the master effects and play it just at the way that it normally is. It's a great way to use a reference track while having a master chain on, especially when you're in the mastering phase and you're trying to check the master, making sure that it's up to snuff with another one of your favorite songs. So the last tip is slipping audio inside Ableton. So what do I mean by that? When you slip audio in a track, well, it's just essentially what it's doing is you're just shifting that audio clip along without having to actually move the clip. So this works best if you have like a bunch of cuts, right? Maybe I could just make a bunch of random cuts in here. And if I wanted to, let's say I didn't want this particular part, maybe I wanted that to be a different part. So I could sort of rearrange this by either just clicking and moving them around like this, or what I could do is I could slip the audio, which means is I could just move the audio clip underneath just by holding Option Shift, and you can see my mouse pointer moves and turns into the glove, this pointed glove thing, and I can just move this along and shift this around like that. And it makes for a really cool, some really cool effects where you can sort of get this glitchy shifting around effect just by moving. So you can get some really cool chopping and movement in there without having to really do a whole lot of extra work. You could just slip those audio clips around. So short video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some value out of it. If you did, please just leave a like and a comment. That would be awesome. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to grab that free music guide, finishing music guide. It's really valuable. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from it already. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.